Alright, hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Sebastian or DJ Kermit if you're in Discord, or Dead Man's Fury if you're on my YouTube channel currently viewing this little thing here. So basically what I have for you today is I am going to be going over the NPC Summoners and the TTimes to make creatures spawn at specific times or events on the servers that you might be playing on. And we'll go through how to set these up, or how I currently have these set up, um, or how you can set up future events on your servers, if you would. Alright, so first off, we're going to be looking at the NPC spawners. So like right now, I have two, actually I have about 7 of these down. So because of the distances to place these items are too great. So generally, if you're going to be doing this over an area and you want to spawn different things across your maps, you want to have a TTime Pippi tool and a NPC summoner uh, close to each other, or depending on the distance between spawner and spawner, you can put a TTime in the very middle of them, and you can use that time spawn or the TTime to connect to both of the NPC spawners. If you wanted to kind of span it across an area, or as I did, I just put a bunch of these werewolf spawners because I have the werewolves to spawn at dusk, and then I have a human spawner in like a town that spawns humans during the day, as if the way the little story here goes, the humans in the this village that I had a friend of mine make for me on the map. Um, the humans would spawn and come out during the day, and at night they would all go to bed and then transform and wake up as werewolves across areas of the map. Conan Exiled Lands map, I have them on C10 and D10. But so the spawner setup as such, it's just a normal setup spawner. Configuration, there's only one wave, and each of the werewolf spawns, they're all set up for a random spawn around this little area that I'm in. Some of them have modifiers. The modifiers you can make change their health. 100%. This werewolf will have 2,500 health. He'll do a multiplier 2.5 damage, and he will be a multiplier 1.5 tall. Generally, if I put a modifier, especially damage modifier, on a critter, I'll give them an additional scale so they'll look bigger than the other animals or the other creatures. For the NPC spawners, if you didn't know already, uh, if you select one of these and you give it an additional amount, that will increase the amount of that werewolf on that random spawn. And so basically you'll have 2 werewolves pop up on the same random spot. I just put a whole bunch in, I give them all random, so they'll randomly spawn across the thing. Some could spawn on the same one, or you could do it sequential, or you can put them in an exact place. Um, these are just what happens when the wave starts, or what happens when the wave ends, or what you could put in here for the wave to start. You can put a global variable when the global variable reaches a certain point, then it would spawn this. But I'm not doing that because I'm spawning these creatures after a certain time of the server. So every night at dusk, this spawner will activate based on the tea time setup for this spawner will spawn the creatures. There's no expiry and there's no delay. So at dusk, bam, werewolves. And at dawn, the werewolves disappear and the humans come alive in the village. Your spawn locations, you show spawns, add spawn location, and then you can put as many of these down as you want. I would strongly recommend not putting an ass of them down because a lot of them can cause a little bit of drain on your server. Um, To place one, you just left click, and to place multiple, you hold shift and left click. Simple. And then you go back into your spawner. Settings. I have it currently set to admin clan. So if, say, for instance, you're in another clan and you want to place this item, well, you as the owner placing the item will always see the item, but the item will show up in the heat map of whatever clan you select. Once that's done, you can clan members only, or you can whitelist it. I like to sometimes whitelist it because, yeah, so you can whitelist it only, which makes it so like if you have, add rank and your rank being admin, so as long as they have the admin rank active, they will be able to use, edit, or see it. But because you are the owner and you placed it down, regardless of the rank and the tab and everything else, you will still be able to see it. So that's settings. Whitelist, settings, spawn locations, all that wonderful stuff, config. And there's all the stuff for the configuration, all of the critters and everything like that. Simple. If you want to, I don't know, spawn a kit when say for instance this creature dies, you would, that would be only this creature. You would have to set the kit for every single one of them. Same thing with the modifiers. If the modifiers aren't group specific or wave specific, you have to set up the modifiers for each individual one that you want to adjust. Same thing with when it's killed, this event happens. If you want an event to happen, like they gain corruption or various other things, T-perform, add actions, what action, you want to put it on this werewolf spawner, what happens to the spawner, it triggers or start waves. You could put server, global operation, change the global operations. I don't really want that or need that, so I'm not going to do that. When the critter is killed. So when that critter dies, you can start the wave with the other thing. You could do, that's the target. Select a target using, let's see, this, using self, invoke trigger, spawn wave. That's attacker, all attackers. So when, say for instance, this default animal is killed, for this right here, your NPC attackers, what happens to the attackers? Well, we want to, I don't know, give them a kit, give them an item, give them money, teleport them, give them a pop-up knock notification. Congratulations, you just killed a werewolf. Knock them out for 1 second, 2 seconds, half a second, half a minute. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. I did that on one. That was funny. But anyway, yeah. So you can add events. You can give them kits. You can replace the loot. So if this critter normally spawned one thing, you can replace that loot with something else, a kit that you add to it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it default. Because, I mean, they're just werewolves. So that basically covers the NPC Summoner as it's set up. So the TTime, which I'm sure everybody is wondering about, because this is, I mean, it's not a new thing, but still it's interesting. You can set up an event that, say, summons bosses on a summoner, like this summoner, at dawn, at noon, at dusk, at midnight. So I have it set up to activate or invoke the trigger on that werewolf spawner at dawn. No, at dawn it'll stop the wave. I have it set so that it stops the wave on the spawner at dawn. So the werewolves go away. And at dusk, I have it set up so that it starts the wave. I don't have anything. You can make separate events for noon. You can separate events for midnight. You can set up a dungeon where all the doors in the dungeon open at midnight. But then they all close at noon. So if anybody took so much time based on your server settings for time to make it through the dungeon, if they don't make it out at a certain time, well, now they're locked in the dungeon. And if there's no way for them to warp out, then they're stuck in the dungeon until the doors open again at midnight the next day. Which is possible. And then this over here, your time period, say for instance, the server's time is not dusk, but I wanted to test it, so I had dusk, and there's a werewolf. And then test again, dawn, the werewolves are gone. So that's this portion of it. Down here you can add specific events at specific times. You wanted specific things to happen. You can set up your own whatever time. You want to say you want a really big boss, or you want to spawn Ymir on your own server at a specific time. Then you throw down an NPC summoner. You put Ymir in that bitch, and then you load all the spawns and the kits and the death events and everything else into it. And then you come on here and then you can edit names. Say, for instance, I can't spell. You wanted to be a spawn. Great. And you can set it at exactly whatever hour. Say, for instance, you want to set it at 1700, which is 5 p.m. whatever. And then edit event, expand, actions, conditions. Actions are, so the spawner here, say for instance this is that Ymir, you want it to start the wave. Conditions, you can set it so that if you had a T zone down, you could put that players inside more than one, more than two, have more than whatever levels, have a special item in their pocket, whatever. You can put that in here based on the T zone, and then in this condition right here will ask you for the specifics of the T zone that in question that you're using and for the condition, so that only specific players can activate um, or come in at whatever time. Maybe that's kind of confusing. Anyway, close. Yeah. Sorry if I confused you because I just confused myself and completely forgot what I was doing. But anyway, you could, long story short, you can set up specific events to happen at specific times using this T tool. And then this is what this port right here is. And I want to remove that because I'm not using it. I'm only using the set it at dawn and set it at dusk. So at dawn, the werewolves go away, and at dusk, the werewolves come out to play. And in the city, I have another TTime with another spawner that's set up for like 3 different spawners of humans to say that at the daytime, the humans come out to chill and forage and whatever. And at dusk, they all go to bed, and the werewolves come back out to play. Your settings should be set up as you need general. You can set clan members only, admin clan. I'm going to do the whitelisting thing because sometimes you want to be in the admin clan but you don't really want to do anything. I'm sure you don't want to see these things. So add rank, rank of admin. Okay. And then you have to highlight it if you want to select the access flags. Because if you don't have it selected, it's not going to add. And then apply that a couple of times. More than once, maybe more than 10, but you want to apply it a couple of times, or else, sometimes it won't take. If you're doing this for code, you can actually set this as a name here, so that you could trigger it if you want to. I mean, it's a time thing, so it's going to happen regardless. So, I mean, I don't think this would be a good trigger, honestly, but I'm guessing you probably could. But anyway, given this name will allow remote triggers to interact with this object. So I just kind of named this where trigger 2 because there's a lot of them in this area. So if I'm looking at something specific and I want to look for one specific, if I'm close to this one, if I'm setting up a T zone in the area, or if I'm setting up a combiner in the area, it'll show me, okay, so where 2timer is in this area. Okay, cool. I don't want to select that. I want to select this other thing that I had titled. So there's that. Well, so generally, that covers the TTime and the NPC Summoner. Now, I mean, if you want to get into more details of the Summoner, say for instance, you got the this werewolf here, and say for instance, all of these are in separate packs. right? So like if one spawns with another one of different community, um, they will kill whatever's not in the same community as them. So if you go into edit modifiers and you add a modifier and go to community, you can actually place all of the critters that you have in that area in the same community. Now I know there's a community number to make them aggressive, and then there's a community number to make them non-aggressive. I believe the one to make them aggressive is like uh, 1,100. It might be 10,100. I haven't played with that too much, but I've just kind of recently heard about that, so I'm just trying to work that in. I know that if you put them all in the modifier community group like one, they won't attack each other. They won't attack you if you get close. But if you attack one, they won't attack you either. Just like you just completely neutered all the werewolves that you put them all in community one. So yeah, that's just something interesting I recently found out, and I hope it helps. Um, yeah, so that's it. That's all I got for you right now. So y'all have a great day, night, evening, whatever, wherever you are, and yeah, stay frosty, my friends. All right, cool. Thank you for coming out, and I'll try and do more of these as I go along.